And welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre here at Loughborough University. It is finals day at the end of week 3 in the UK Pro League. We didn't get to see a women's third place playoff match today, alas, because of the injury yesterday to Sonny Cartel. But Emily Appleton was beaten for the first time in the final, having won week 1 and week 2. But Elise Maloney, who defeated her in the group stage during the week, did it again for sweet revenge after losing in the final of week 2. And just a few moments ago, we saw Julian Cash come through by 10 points to 4 in a match tie-break against his close friend George Houghton to secure third place. Which means it is now time for the men's final. And here comes a familiar figure in 19-year-old Anton Matusevich on a 14-match winning streak here, having finished third in week 1 before emerging triumphant in week 2. And coming through to today's final undefeated. He was a top junior, he won the US Open junior doubles, and he is a multi-talented off-court individual as well, a classically trained pianist. He is fluent in Russian, amongst other things, and he's currently in the middle of his economics and statistics exams. And this is his opponent, Henry Patten, 24 years of age, from Essex, had a fabulous US college career after leaving Culford School, posting a 69 singles record. He was a top doubles performer as well, and he recently played 20 matches in India. He's an Ipswich supporter, he loves chess, he comes from a sporting family, his brother's an excellent golfer, his sister a top netball player, and he once spent a survival week spearfishing in the Bahamas, so he knows how to look after himself. Both men have shown what they can do this week, but which of the players here over the past 7 days boast the best attributes in certain key departments?
Jack Draper has the best serve because he can get the width from his, as he's a lefty, and get the opponent off the court.
I'd say Jack van der Hawkins has got the best volleys that I've seen.
Hits the short volley very well, and also with the big serve beforehand, pushes you back and then opens up the court nicely.
I think Matusevich has got the best movement in the tournament. Seems to get to everything.
Again, I'd say Anton. He sort of clubs the forehand really low and flat through the court.
I played him the other week and he was just smacking winners left, right and centre.
Billy's got the best mentality, especially in the pro leagues. He got through 7 pro leagues or 6 pro leagues last time. Just mentally to get through that is very good.
Jack Draper has the best backhand because even though when you think you've got him on the run, he can easily put it back into neutral or get you into defensive position.
Okay, well that's what the players think, but what really matters is what Gigi thinks. She is back, she's in position, she's looking a touch nervous again in her lovely floral outfit. When you've stopped giggling, what are you expecting from this men's final?
Well, the first thing is to say I'm a little bit nervous because our colleague Jenny last night christened the Matusevich forehand the fair hand, and I'm in a direct line of fire should anything go askew. Oh!
Well, something has gone askew. That mask has gone.
The first thing to go askew is the mask, but I shall continue to say I'm looking forward to this one. They did meet very early on in week 3, and it was Matusevich that came out on top. It's a debut for Henry in this competition, but he played the first part of the year over in India, had a really good time playing both singles and doubles. But Matusevich, he's looked so good. He dropped 1 set in week 2 to win the title. He hasn't dropped a set yet. It looks like he's in a hurry. I mean, he's so aggressive with his game style anyway. The confidence is flowing, and I believe he's also studying for exams at the moment, so he's definitely multitasking right now.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to multitask because while holding a microphone and your notes, you must put your mask back on before you break all COVID rules. While she does that, we'll learn a little more about Henry Patten.
Well, what an incredible match out there, Henry. Congratulations into the final of week 3 of the UK Pro League. What do you make of that battle out there against Julian?
Yeah, I mean, we both know each other so well. You know, we're really good friends off the court. We've both been training here in Loughborough, so it's always difficult to play one of your best friends. I think it was difficult for him. Obviously, he had the better of the chances, I think, in the first set and probably the second as well. So, yeah, really feeling lucky to come through it, and yeah, relieved really.
Up against Anton Matusevich or George Houghton in the final tomorrow. What are your thoughts on playing potentially either of those guys?
Yeah, George is another guy I know really well. He trains in Loughborough as well, so he's another friend. It'll probably be another scrappy old match. Obviously, I played Anton earlier in the week and he beat me pretty comfortably. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that one. Try and get a bit of revenge on him maybe. But yeah, he's been playing amazing all week. Obviously, hasn't dropped a set. So yeah, looking forward to it, whoever I play.
Well done today and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was Henry talking after his semi-final success last night to Jenny Drummond, and she also caught up with Anton once he'd come through his semi-final encounter.
Anton, back in the final for a second successive week. Talk me through that semi-final match though. It was a great effort from George.
Yeah, it was awesome. He was playing really good. I think he was happy with the win yesterday, so I think he's the underdog today, and you know, he was serving great. Was moving me around. I hustled, and yeah, I was really enjoying myself. Started hitting it really freely later. It was very good fun. It's awesome.
And thoughts on the final up against Henry Patten? It's first time in UK Pro League this year. What do you expect from that?
He's physically quite good. You know, he's a lefty, that makes it tricky as well. I think today against Cash, it was very close. I think Cash got unlucky. He had a lot of break points. So next time they'll play, that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, he uses his forehand well. He changes line of it, so I'll watch out for that tomorrow. And yeah, he's a good player. You know, he obviously came second in my group. He beat a few good players. He's quite good under pressure as well. And but I think I can still take him tomorrow there. So yeah.
Well done today. Good luck.
Thank you.
Love listening to Anton. He'll make a great pundit one day. Enjoy watching Gigi fix her mask. It took her some time, but she's back in business. So, what exactly is going to happen here, Gigi?
Well, I should say that Henry's going to win because he just warned me that a bullet was heading my way off the racket of Anton Matusevich. He's had such a great debut in the competition, Henry, coming through his stint in India into Loughborough at the UK Pro League. But Anton Matusevich is playing with so much confidence. The serve has been firing, the forehand's been firing, and I know he's juggling a lot at the moment, but I do think that Matusevich should just have a little bit too much for Patten.
OK, Gigi, thank you. He's got to get back for his exams after this, but he's looking to extend that winning run here to 15 matches. We'll find out if Gigi's right and if he achieves his wish in the company of Calvin and Jenny.
Thanks very much, Marcus and Gigi. Yes, joining us here for the final match of the day. And what a match it is set to be. The men's Week 3 UK Pro League final between the Week 2 winner, Anton Matusevich, just 19 years of age. He's taking on Henry Patten, 25 years old, making his UK Pro League 2021 debut this week. It's been a pretty successful week for him so far, Calvin. This is an interesting matchup though, because they've already met earlier on in the week. Matusevich got the better of Patten, but a second chance for Patten here.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. I know Henry pretty well, and what you get from him day to day can be completely different. So I've seen matches where players have beaten him 2-2, and then he'll come back later in the week or a week later and beat them 2-2. So yeah, it'll be an interesting match.
Clean slate for this men's final. But also, Matusevich has been playing some wonderful tennis. Comes into today on a 14-match winning streak, and he's dropped just one set in those 14 matches. That was in the final of Week 2 against Mark Whitehouse.
Important for Henry to get one in there early. Anton won a short rally and a long one. It can be a bit daunting when you're playing Anton. He can hit big, and he can also, he's very consistent. He doesn't make many errors for the type of player that he is.
Daunting is definitely one word.
Yeah.
When you're facing Matusevich.
Two huge units, these two lads, aren't they? By far the two biggest players, I think, here this week.
Yeah, Patten 6'5", Matusevich 6'1". He does possess great touch as well as a powerful game, though, as Anton Matusevich.
Yeah, he really does. He's got a great feel around it. It's one of the first things I noticed when I started spending a bit of time around Anton a couple of years ago, and in practice he really does have a lovely feel. Really good volleyer as well. He doesn't come to the net as much as I think he could, but he misses very few volleys. Big from Henry. Wow. Huge hitting.
Certainly is making a statement from the first game of the match as Henry Patten holds convincingly and gives Matusevich something to think about right at the beginning of this match. Gets a nod of approval too.
I think Henry's got his brother there on court with him. I think he goes to university at Loughborough, so he lives up here.
Well, Patten went the US college route, had great success there. Marcus mentioned that in his introduction. 60-9 win-loss record in 4 years. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he was ranked #1 in the country in doubles as well.
He was the NCAA doubles champion. Does like to move forward in the court as well and use his double skills.
Yeah, especially on the backhand, he has this sort of motion where he just leans into it. It's difficult because he's so tall. It's difficult for opponents to get it out of that range. He can just lean into it and push the ball forward. He's got great timing on it.
Matusevich stopped in that rally because he thought maybe one of the shots, this one, was wide. Of course, players calling their own line, so it is his call.
Wow. Two huge shots. Anton's backhand was a rocket as well.
I think we're in for a bit of a treat in this
Yeah.
men's final. It was a big hitting semi-final between Matusevich and Houghton. They were knocking the cover off the ball, and Patten doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's good, smart tactic from Anton, that. Back behind. Serving.
So Matusevich on the board as well. One game all. Matusevich hasn't lost a match since week 1 of the UK Pro League. He lost on the first day to Jack Findle-Hawkins. They made it to the semi-finals, and Billy Harris played the match of his life to get through that. Came third after defeating Dan Cox in the 3rd-4th playoff. And really, he's just played better and better as the weeks have gone by. He's got used to the conditions here in Loughborough, and he's getting lots of matches under his belt, and he's looking super confident.
Yeah, he's playing really well. It's going to take some performance to beat him. He said he's going off to America as well after in a few weeks, I think, to play some 25Ks out there. I'm really interested to see how he goes at that level. It's sort of a level up from here, I guess. He's been so dominant in these tournaments so far.
Now, you mentioned that 25K events. Well, last year he qualified and reached the semi-final of one in Hamburg in October. 2 players in the top 300 in the ATP Tour. Big results for him.
Yeah, and the guy we lost to in the final, the guy who eventually lost to is a very good player as well. I think so. Currently just a lot of matches in challenger events. I think he's in a final this week. So he didn't lose to any mugs in that one. He's a strange case, Anton, in that he's decided to go to university certainly for this year and maybe for a couple more years after this as well. So he's not actually playing full-time tennis at the minute, although he's playing a pretty heavy schedule. He trains most days and he's playing these tournaments, but his tournament schedule is not that of a full-time player.
Well, he's an absolute brain box.
Yeah.
He's studying statistics and economics and is sitting exams pretty soon. Asked me to test him on it yesterday when I was going to do an interview with him. But that is double Dutch to me, so I stuck to the tennis.
Because Henry's really match tight as well. He's been out in India playing futures and
so Patten in the lead on serve. 2-1 in this first set. Welcome back to UK Pro League 2021 Week 3 men's final between Henry Patten and Anton Matusevich. Patten playing his first week of the UK Pro League this week. It's been rather successful with this final run. Matusevich, though, has played 3 out of 3 weeks.
15 love.
So 21 matches by the end of this. It's a lot of matches.
yeah, it's a hell of a schedule.
But you did mention that Patten had been out in India playing some ITFs there, so he's played 20 matches in total. That's fair number 2. Made the finals of one of the doubles events.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Played with another British lad, Jonathan Binding, who's a very good doubles player as well. So they had a bit of success in that first week.
Yeah, and singles-wise, made a quarter-final after coming through qualifying. That's not easy to do.
No, not in India either.
He said he really enjoyed his time. No wonder with a quarter-final run in singles and a finals run in the doubles. Slightly cooler conditions here.
I was just thinking that, yeah, big climate change. He's generous with that call. Yeah, the umpire's just confirmed it was long as well. I always find that a strange one though, then why the umpires don't just call it if they know it was out. I know it's on the players to call the ball, but the ball's either in or out. The umpire can overrule if it's the other way around. I don't see why they can't overrule that way. Would have given him a double fault as well.
Anton Matusevich's mum. Been here all week, was here in week 2 as well. His dad was courtside for week 1. So a straightforward hold for Matusevich. Level pegging in this opening set. Chats to himself regularly, does Anton, throughout a match. He's a very intense player on the court, and then by contrast, you've got Henry Patten on the other side, who is very relaxed.
Yeah, very laid back, Henry.
Anton's a very quick player on the court. Just have to wonder whether maybe one of the guys would try and slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, I always think that, yeah. But it can be quite tough to do that, though. If you remember, Steffi Graf used to be the same. She was everyone had to play at her pace, and no one really slowed it down.
Love 15.
Plays with very little margin, Henry, especially over the net. A lot of his balls are... I remember back in St George's, I was stood courtside, and every ball was about 3 inches over the net.
15.
Either in the net or at most 3 inches over it. See there, one of the things that Anton's so good at, he can withstand the pace. And Henry's hit 2 absolute bombs there, and Anton, he's not only defending off them, he can sort of reverse them and turn it round and neutralise so well. His rally threshold's so high. Makes it so hard to hit through him. You've got to hit around him, you've got to create the space and hit it where he can't. You can't really cause him damage just by hitting big at him.
Having said that, he's a great mover too.
Yeah, very good.
So quick around the court.
Very calm.
So still on serve in this opening set. Patten 3-2 to the good in this men's final. So men's final action, week 3 of the UK Pro League. The women's winner decided earlier on. Liz Maloney got the better of Emily Appleton, got her revenge this week. It was a repeat of the week 2 final. And Maloney undefeated this week, so she left in a very good mood indeed.
Always feels about right when the player who's won all the matches previous wins the final, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Winning 7 in a row. As our producer has just mentioned there, it's what you need to win a slam, and it is 7 matches in a row. Big hitting.
The off forehand is one of his best shots in the big old toolkit that he possesses.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a few good ones, hasn't he?
For the semi-final match with George Houghton, they went toe-to-toe. It was very tight indeed. It was interesting. Matusevich managed to break in the 11th game of both sets. And that's 7-5, 7-5 against a big hitting Houghton. That was his biggest test of the week. So 3 games apiece. Both players holding serve with relative ease. Their previous match earlier on in the week, 6-2, 6-3 Matusevich.
15 up.
I think that was Henry's first match indoors, though, as well. He's been out in India, as we said, playing outdoor hard. First indoor match of the year.
30.
Yeah, and you don't really want to be facing Anton Matusevich.
No, it's tough, tough first gig, isn't it? Both still sort of feeling their way into it, the match at the minute, you feel, don't you?
He's teeing off right now.
Yeah.
30,
Is that the way to feel your way in?
I feel with both of these players, it's their go-to game. I just think that maybe that Anton will favour himself if it gets to just a slugging contest between the two of them from the baseline. I think Henry's very good at those kind of balls, those sort of drive slice type shots, and mixes his slices up. He can sort of work some angles on his forehand as well. I think he's going to have to mix it up. He doesn't really want to get into a slugfest.
Well, certainly on these courts, the slice is so effective because it just stays so low.
Henry's got a huge wingspan as well. He's so difficult to pass when he's at the net. You've basically got about 10 inches either side of him, and that's it.
He got away with it.
Yeah.
And he holds his serve once again.
If Henry gets to the net 1 or 2 times a game on average, he's going to make this match very close.
The final day of action, the final match of week 3 of the UK Pro League men's final. Matusevich looking to get the top spot for the 2nd week in a row. Patten looking to stop him in his tracks. That's some pretty confident looking tennis.
Yeah, it's big.
He's been smiling a lot in terms of his reactions once he's played a point. And I asked him yesterday, are you really enjoying being out on the court? And he said he is. He's loving the way he's playing. Absolute bullet of a backhand cross court.
Yeah, he's letting go a bit now, isn't he? Yeah, another easy service game for Anton. Henry's not really getting into them at the minute.
Yeah, rapid fire.
4 games.
Matusevich plays quickly, but that service game was double quick time. Matusevich dropped just 3 points on serve.
First serve.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's on the run too, on the stretch, and the
Yeah.
ability to create power from so far back behind the court is quite remarkable.
Yeah. It's almost a punch as well. There's no backswing there hardly.
Gave it a good old slap.
A bit of a slow ball there. There didn't seem to be much on that second serve.
Anton was so far back behind the baseline, ready to receive it. Barely even got to him. Painting the line. Couldn't really have got any closer, bang in the corner.
I think that's what he's going to have to do, though. He's going to have to play that just to keep Anton off him. Again, big hitting.
40-15.
His forehand really is extremely effective. Another relatively straightforward hold for Patten.
5 games to 4.
Yeah, towards the business end of this opening set. So Matusevich will serve to stay in it. But having said that, he's held with relative ease as well. It's been a pretty positive start for both players.
Yeah, they're both playing pretty well. I think they'll both be happy with how they've started.
It's been a good week for both of them. Patten's road to the final. Qualified second in his group, lost to Matusevich on day one. Tom Hands as well, then beat Louis Maxted, Josh Paris, Oscar Waitman, and then Julian Cash in that really tight semi-final match. Faced 11 break points in that match, and Cash couldn't convert any of them. And came through both tie breaks. But Julian Cash doing well today, securing his third place spot in his victory over George Houghton in the championship tie break.
15 love.
So a good payday for Julian Cash too, taking home £3,000.
Yep, going to the travel pot, that will. They can really be looking to try and make some inroads here. It's nothing on Anton's serve at all. a lovely touch. Again, that's where Henry's so tough to pass. He's got such a wingspan. That would be a tricky volley for any other player, but he just kind of reached an arm out. And
do you think he should be looking to move forward a little bit more often against Matusevich?
yeah, I think he'd like to, but he's tough against Anton. He hits every ball at 400 miles an hour. Oh, hell of a smash. Tough guys to lob, both of these two, though.
It was well handled by Matusevich.
Ooh, there's a bit of a chance there.
40-15. Okay,
Didn't cleanly hit the drive volley. Went Patten back in the rally, but the net working in favour of Matusevich on that occasion. See the reaction too from Matusevich, shake of the head. He knew he got away with it.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't get the clean connection he wanted.
Huge hitting once again from the 19-year-old. Levels things at 5-all. This is when he made the breakthrough both sets of his semi-final match. He has a good ability to sense the moment, sense the importance of times in a set.
Yeah, I think he's just so match tight, that's the thing.
Gets the first point. How key could that be?
Yeah, it's a big one now. Henry's got to stay alive in this match. He's got to really dig down now. That's a good shot. Good serve. Good follow-up.
15-0.
They're having to be good shots though. They're not bad returns. These. That's a good length on Anton's return. Nadal in that forehand.
Yeah, I was going to say the last suit.
Oh.
Nadal back in action in Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that kicking off.
15-13.
But a little inroad for Matusevich here. Henry Patten under a bit of scoreboard pressure.
Chance now, big chance.
15-14.
He went after that second serve. And now has 2 break point chances, first break points of the match.
This is where he broke yesterday, isn't it? In both sets. Don't want to be giving Anton chances in the 11th game of sets.
First blood goes to Anton Matusevich. You heard the roar.
Matusevich leads by 6 games.
He'll serve for the set very shortly indeed. And really stepped up a level when he needed to at an important time.
Yeah, and he's serving so well as well. It allows him a bit of release on the return games. He's got no pressure on his own, so he's feeling comfortable all the time. And Henry's going to have to sort of start making some inroads into Anton's serve, I think, if this is going to go on much longer.
Matusevich with his US Open towel that he has with him in every match from 2018 when he won the junior boys doubles title. Had a great junior career. Twice a junior Wimbledon quarter finalist. It's number 12 in the world in the junior circuit. But it's a whole different ball game now in the professional circuit.
Absolutely, yeah. He's although he's still quite a bit bigger than most of the male players. So what he was like in the juniors, you can only imagine.
Looks a little like he's got his beach towel with him.
Yeah, it probably sums Henry up about right there. He sort of lives the beach lifestyle, I think, without living near a beach.
The beach shorts. Matusevich now just 3 points away from taking this first set.
I think Henry's going to have to try and do something a little bit different. He's going to have to try and use his short slice a little bit more, use some angles on his forehand. If he can get that lefty forehand hitting angle, I just don't see him going toe-to-toe with Anton, straight line hitting, which is what we're doing at the minute. He'll hit some winners and he'll win some points, but I just favour that in that kind of contest, Anton will come out on top.
Wow. That is a screaming forehand winner. Let's watch it one more time indeed.
Big, huge hitting.
And there is the first set wrapped up in slick fashion. Anton Matusevich is 1 set to the good. 7 games to 5. He takes the first set. So Anton Matusevich has just taken the opening set against Henry Patten, 7 games to 5. Anton, you seem to like to break serve in the 11th game. Is this a trend?
No. He was delivering very good level. You know, he started playing good from the start. So did I, actually. So he just slipped a bit at 5-all, and that was that. But, you know, yesterday against Georgia as well, 2 games at 5-all. Yeah, it might become a trend soon. I like to maybe do it earlier. That would be nice. So, yeah.
Anton, pretty good level this. Where would you say this is at if out of 10 for what you can possibly play like?
I mean, this is probably an 8, even higher probably. I mean, there's not much going wrong. You know, holding serve, which is what it should be. You know, Henry's hit some really good forehand lines, like pretty open textbook, out wide serve into the space. You know, there's not much you can do about that. You know, there's nothing been too much wrong. Really, really happy with the level.
8.5, 9?
Yeah, probably about that.
Room for improvement, Anton. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks very much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Oh, great stuff from Matusevich. Normally when he ends the conversation, he says bye-bye as if he's hanging up the phone. Not on that occasion. But it seems like he's very impressed with his performance so far as well.
Yeah, you can't not be. You know, the guys know how well they're playing, and Henry's not played too bad either. He's played sort of, on his serve, he's played 1 bad game, but he'd probably be a bit disappointed how he's returned. But then again, Anton's serving pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Was another love hold to seal the opening set.
Patten to serve.
So Patten back to the drawing board here.
Mixing his slice in there, I think that's the sort of thing that he'd want to do. Not only just slicing, but also changing the lengths and the paces that he hits his slice at.
Trying to disrupt any rhythm, I guess, that Matusevich can try and create.
Just take him out of being able to stand there and club away at balls. the defining thing is in general, in a general rally, there's not probably much difference in the pace that both these guys hit the ball, but Anton has a little bit more ability to withstand what Henry hits than what Henry is withstanding what Anton's hitting at the minute. Pressing a little bit too much there. There is a route to win for Henry, though. It's far from all over this one. I feel it's going to have to involve one of them not being at the baseline, though, whether it be Henry coming to the net or dragging Anton into the mid-court with low slices and that kind of thing.
Both having a good time out there this evening. Oh, he knows that's costly though.
Yeah.
Letting Anton Matusevich back into this service game.
That's a good response.
40-30.
Again, it's such just relentless power from Anton.
Yeah, you think you've pushed him far enough behind the baseline with your own shot, and then suddenly he comes up with something even better.
He hardly gives you any errors as well. That's big. Net cord helped him out a little bit, took Henry off balance.
But it's hard to hit a cross-court winner.
Oh, off the backhand, yeah. So tough. He's behind the baseline as well.
So an early breakpoint chance here for Matusevich.
That's good level.
Still got there.
Yeah. That's what Anton was saying at the change of ends. Henry's playing that lefty pattern pretty well. Lefty serve out wide, forehand into the open court. And he's having to hit the ball close to the line just to get a point for it. It's like, say, Anton got there.
Change up though.
Advantage, Patten.
Serve had a lot of movement on it.
Yeah, the same. Just wide.
Looks a little bit unconvinced of that one. That was wide. Too close for us to see from here.
Will remain neutral.
He's going to be even more fuming about it now.
Yeah, right smile on the face of Patten. He's having to work hard in this opening service game of the second set. Just the one break of serve in the first, coming in the crucial 11th game.
The way that Anton's serve, you feel it's already quite a big game, this one, don't you?
Advantage, Matusevich.
Just drifted along.
Your action says a lot too. Getting a bit frustrated as Patten.
Anton's going to get a break point on it. Second serve now. Yep, big hitting. Relentless.
He knew he had him from the back of the court. Early break of serve for Anton Matusevich.
First game.
Ideal start for him in the second set. Patten now with a bit of a mountain to climb. Look at that. Matusevich on every single point when his first serve went in.
Yeah. And Henry's not going to do much better than serve at 75% first serves.
It was a high quality first set, that's for sure. But if you're at Patten, it's hard not to feel a little dejected. You put in a great performance in the first set, you get one break point against you.
Yeah.
Taken.
I think playing the way he's playing now, he can't play much better. It's whether he can change that up and play in a different way.
Wow.
See, that's a really smart play. He dragged Anton in with a short slice, then gone deep on the next ball. But that's the level he's having to play just to get points.
Well, isn't this fun to watch? These guys striking the ball absolutely incredibly.
Bit of frustration in that backhand there. See, this is where it's getting to Henry now, is that he's hitting these huge balls and they're not really dinting Anton's armoury. I find this is where Anton is really a unique type of player, that he can do the damage himself, but he's so hard to get the ball through. And then he can do that. Yeah.
A rocket of an ace.
And another. Henry.
Let's be honest, Henry's a tall guy. He's 6'5", he's got that big wingspan, but can't even get close.
It's tough to tell if Henry is a bit dejected, because his demeanour is always a bit sort of laissez-faire.
Oh, the hat-trick of aces for Matusevich to consolidate that break of serve.
He said he was at an 8.5, 9. I think he might just have gone up to a 9.5 here. This is pretty unplayable tennis that he's playing at the minute.
Yeah, he took me seriously when I said there was room for improvement. But Patten has a job to do here to try and stop the momentum against him.
It's a smart play. It would have been an interesting shot if he'd have got that over. It'd be a bit frustrating because it wasn't a hard shot to make either.
He's thinking out there. He's trying to come up with questions for Matusevich.
It's not very often that Henry would have to change the way that he plays. He would set out normally in matches if he's going to play his game and see if it's good enough. See if he can execute, but Anton's such, like I said, he's such a unique player. It's hard to see, to be fair, with anyone how you play against Anton on a day like when he's doing what he's doing today. he's going to be frustrated there.
A little bit casual in that final shot. Did all the hard work.
Yeah.
What a shame. Here are 2 3-point chances.
It's important that Henry tries to get this game back. So you get the feeling he might get 1 chance to break Anton. Not sure he gets 2. Too big, too good.
See, indeed, Anton Matusevich is making moves. He leads this final by a set and a break. Big smiles. Well, what an impressive display of tennis we're witnessing from 19-year-old Anton Matusevich in this UK Pro League Week 3 final. He's been saving the best for last, and it's been a rather impressive week so far. Not dropped a set. Hasn't yet gone to a tiebreak either in a set this week. And leads by a set and a double break.
Love 15.
Will there be some let up though? That's what Patten's got to pray for.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times this week when he's broke and then just thrown 1 straight back, but he looks so focused today, I don't see it.
I'd love to see the winner count.
Yeah, it's incomprehensible when you do that. Henry's like, I'm not saying it was a great return, but it wasn't a bad return by any stretch, and just clean winner. He's got this amazing ability which he can do to players, which is the worst type of thing that you can feel, and he disheartens his opponent because you just don't, you're sort of trying to find a way, and there's no real crack in the armory.
He's coming out with magic like that.
That's Henry's tactic. Get some neck cords and that dribble over. A couple more of those and he's got a break. Get that ability to change defence into attack. That was a good return from Henry. It was behind Anton, but he's got such strength in his arm and his shoulder. He can just turn the point around so quickly in one shot.
Winner, winner, winner. It's just wild. From any position in the court.
It's a good slice. It's a slice. It's deep.
So, for love.
Let's see how ruthless he is now. Oh.
Got him.
Yeah.
15.
It was good reactions from Patten. We've mentioned that doubles ability, it was in full flow there.
Wow. Wow.
15.
How big has he seen the tennis ball today? Great depth from Patten there, though. Pinning Matusevich far behind the baseline. And that's how good it's got to be.
Yeah. He's got to play his 10 out of 10 level just to get points at the minute. And if he plays his 10 out of 10, he's going to get points. He's right in the game, but asking anybody to play 10 out of 10 every single point is just too big an ask. Especially when you consider what Anton's apparent 8.5 out of 10 is.
He's just thinking, give me a break.
Yeah. Give him that one. Give him that sloppy one. He's done all right for the rest of the match.
Understandably disappointed with that error.
It's the one thing that I think Henry will be sort of hold himself to account for in this match. He's not sliced quite as well as he would have needed to win the match. If you asked Henry what he after the match what he thinks he could have done better, I don't think there'd be much that he'd be able to list.
Other than facing a different opponent.
Yeah.
Here is a chance for Matusevich to go within one game victory.
Huge forehand down the line. He's just swinging a bit, Henry, now, I think.
He pretty much hit that returner serve on the half volley. Matusevich was that quick onto the ball. Now another chance to break the Patten serve for a third time in this set.
That's that.
Big serving from Patten. It's turn for an ace.
Sloppy with the footwork there.
Advantage.
If I'm being mega critical. At 7-5, 4 love up.
If he wants to reach this 10 out of 10, he's
Yeah.
got to get a few more steps in there.
Anton. Took the line, yeah. Again, Patten.
So overruled, called in. So Patten does get on the board in the second set, but Matusevich still leading by a set and a double break. Anton Matusevich firmly in the driving seat in this men's final. It's been a very impressive performance so far. Henry Patten doing everything he can to keep the 19-year-old at bay. Matusevich looking to win a second week of the UK Pro League. Leads the overall standings in the league table as well. Patten, though, will shoot up no matter what the outcome is of this match. Winner picks up 18 points and £4,250. All players looking to qualify for the finals week in December, 8 weeks prior to that, in which they can attempt to qualify.
I don't think Anton's struggling for that now. I think he might just squeeze in, I think.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it all starts to play out as the weeks go by. End of week 3 now. Week 4 in a couple of weeks' time.
I think if he doesn't make it, he might be a solid shout for the wild card.
And 9 players qualify. 3 wild cards are allowed in both the men's and the women's side. Now Matusevich extending his lead. Just 1 game away from a second win. Matusevich will want to get the match wrapped up right here, but Patten is going to dig in deep, see if he can make his opponent serve it out.
Oh my word. Oh.
Yes, sir. I think everyone enjoyed that. The amount of backspin that Matusevich was able to put on this ball. That is certainly one to keep And Mum loved it too.
Mum's a big fan of that one. It's been a real silk and steel performance from Anton, hasn't it? Been huge power and some lovely touches like that last one.
Yeah, that in turn brings up 3 match points for Anton Matusevich.
Oh, he missed it.
That was Patten's turn for a bit of showboating.
15-14.
There we go.
Anton
Good finish.
Matusevich, king of the court once again here in Loughborough. He is the winner of week 3. The winner of week 2 as well. Does it this week without dropping a set. Quite incredible tennis in this men's final against Henry Patten, who played a very solid first set of tennis indeed. But it was Matusevich who was just ruthless.
Yeah, I think especially over the last 2 weeks, what's really impressed me about Anton is his ruthlessness, his resilience when things have gone a little bit tough. He hasn't faced that much from anyone else, but when he has, he's been excellent. But it's just ruthlessness. There's been no sloppy periods of 10, 20 minutes that he can sometimes have. I feel he's really moved up a level in terms of maturity, and I'm really excited to see how he does when he gets back out in the 25Ks. If he plays like he's done here, he'll be winning those as well. He's playing very, very high-level tennis at the minute.
He is indeed. He's just improved as the weeks have gone by. Third in week 1, was the winner in week 2, and now once again the winner in week 3. That is 15 matches in a row. 1 for Anton Matusevich. He really is the man to beat at the UK Pro League this season. He's put on some wonderful performances that we've certainly enjoyed watching. The highlights reel from all of his matches, quite incredible indeed. But a great match from Henry Patten, a great week for him too. But we can now go courtside as the week 3 winner is with Marcus.
Well, Anton, many, many congratulations. 15 straight wins, just 1 set dropped. A case of deja vu as you stand in front of me with the silverware. Calvin in commentary says you're ruthless at the moment. How would you describe that performance?
No, I'm just very happy with the way I played. Thank you, by the way. I told you I was going to feel at home out here for the 3rd week. You know, I thought I was playing better tennis even than the 2nd week. You know, just want to say congratulations to Henry as well. Pretty decently made the final as well. So, clutched the group as well pretty nicely there as well. So, no, but it was awesome and really enjoyed it again.
Yeah, well, he pushed you all the way in the first set. It's interesting to see how you've developed, though, over the weeks. You admitted to being nervous in week 1, had an early defeat. Have all those nerves disappeared now?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, for week 1, you're panicking, you know, you're top seed, you're not used to these events. You know, you got, well, especially first match against Finder Hawkins, who's very different the way he plays. So, and then you just kind of blend in and you start playing better and better. Less panicking, less talking during the match, you know, none of that for me later on. So just really calm, composed, and yeah, for sure, just stop thinking about the scoreline as well, of the points, because that's the tricky part of this tournament.
Yeah, you're only 19 years of age. Everyone wants to see maturity in a player as soon as possible. Do you accept that that's still an area you need to work particularly hard on?
100%. I'm turning 20 like next month, so it's scary getting older. I don't want to get older. I want to stay young. Yeah, 100%. The more you just become mentally solid, I think I'll definitely improve your game. At least that's what the textbook says. So I'll try it. So yeah.
And just in terms of your game, aside from what's going on in your head, we know you've got a fantastic forehand. We've seen what power you can bring to the court. What else are you going to be looking to work on over the next few weeks?
Definitely the serve. First serve is not as good as my forehand. I don't think will ever be as good as my forehand, maybe. But definitely first serve, just percentage. Today I actually served much better. I had like 2 bad matches where I served, but definitely first serve is an improvement. Be working that quite a lot, just committing to the shot, you know, driving up. Especially where I hold the racket, I hold it quite high up. so I struggle to like get the wrist going in it. So I just have to manage it better.
Yeah, well, you've got your coaches here. Your mum, Kate's here as well. Will she allow you to celebrate a little bit before you get back to your revision for your exams?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to chill out later. Definitely play a bit of piano today and just start revising. Got 2 weeks before them, and after that, hopefully play some futures abroad. So,
is that how you relax, by playing the piano?
Yeah, it's just good calmness. It's just good to keep. Well, I mean, when you play, my piano's got quite hard notes, so it just keeps my wrists and fingers like prevent arthritis. I don't know. It's just a good skill to have for sure.
It is.
So,
well, you're hitting all the high notes on the court. Many congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
And of course, commiserations as well to Henry, who's had a fantastic week and who pushed Anton very hard in the first set in particular and can look back on some big wins of his own. But he started as favourite, Gigi, and he's justified his billing again, hasn't he?
He did, and I like the way he said, when you said, what are you going to work on, or what do you need to work on? He said, well, nothing will ever be as good or as big as my forehand. And it's such a weapon, it's fearless. When we talked about the complete play, and we heard from their colleagues a little bit earlier, they were talking about the serve and the movement of Matusevich. The forehand, though, I mean, it stuns his opponents. It did so again today. He did come in as the favourite. He just had too much for Henry.
Well, you mentioned that forehand. If we look at some of the highlights of the final, we're going to get a couple of examples of that in particular. It doesn't really matter who's on the other side of the net. If he times it and hits it like this, it's simply not coming back.
Yeah, it's wonderful to watch. It's awful if you're the other side of the net and they're flying past you. George Houghton really stayed toe-to-toe with him yesterday in the semi-finals, but once it's working, and that created the breakpoint opportunities, Patten wasn't able to fashion any breakpoints on the Matusevich serve because Matusevich kept the foot on the pedal.
And he's spoken about the need to be thinking, to be mature at all times. You can easily drift away. There are a lot of long rallies. We know the significance of this match in particular. And certainly Calvin in commentary was saying that's what he's like so much this week and last week about Anton, the way he is dealing with everything so professionally at the moment.
And we spoke at the very beginning of the UK Pro League about what the players will learn, how will they develop. They're playing 7 matches in 7 days. They're playing some players time and time again. Now, this is the second time they've faced each other this week. It's about learning when you face an opponent. It's 2 wins out of 2 against Henry Patten. And in the case of Matusevich, he is only 19 years of age. It's about learning to cope with situations, deal with nerves, which he has dealt with. There's always something to keep improving on. But he is the highest seed here. Jack Draper came in and became the top seed, but for the first 2 weeks, it was Matusevich. He's come through again. He's 15 matches unbeaten, and he's dropped 1 set in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and as we can see from these examples, he just didn't take his foot off the gas at the start of the second set. No matter what Henry tried to do, it was one-way traffic. There was an air of inevitability already at this stage in the second set.
How do you relax after a day's work?
Well, I wish I could say I also played the piano.
I didn't think you would say that.
I normally reach for something with my right hand and sit back, and after a few swigs I feel much better. But yeah, he's alive well. We said beforehand he's a fantastic analyst. He knows technically what's required. He knows what his opponents are going to bring to the court. But it's very important, of course, to know how to relax. And he's got these horrendous economics and statistical exams. I mean, it's terrifying just to say, but he's taking it all in his stride, isn't he?
It's the confidence. It's the confidence he has. He walks into the tournament office and he's chatting about his matches and how he feels he played. We're speaking to him on court and he's saying, yeah, I think I'm about an 8 or a 9 out of 10. He has the confidence, but he's got the game to match. He's walking the walk at the moment. He was the highest seed through the first 2 weeks. He finished third. He learnt from those mistakes. He's come through and he's won weeks 2 and weeks 3 very comfortably.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see you've learnt from your mistakes, because you've got much better straps on your mask. Keep hoping it's going to ping off again. There's still time. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will round up everything that has happened in week 3 of the UK Pro League. welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre at Loughborough University, where just a few moments ago Anton Matusevich did it again. He's the week 3 winner, just as he was the week 2 winner. Henry Patten did everything he could in a very tight first set, but Anton was relentless. An extraordinary run here, 15 successive wins. He's dropped only 1 set. The good news for the rest of the field is that he won't be here for week 4, because he's got to go off now and do those horrendous exams. And I think he's rather looking forward to those as well. Here's confirmation of today's results. Alas, there was no women's third place playoff because of the injury yesterday to Sonny Cartel, so Freya Christie was awarded the victory. Emily Appleton had won week 1 and week 2, but she's had to settle for second best in week 3. Elise Maloney, who was runner-up in week 2, beat her during the week and beat her again today. It was tense towards the end. Maloney eventually won on her 7th match point. Julian Cash then came through by 10 points to 4 in a third set tiebreak against his very close friend George Houghton in the battle for the men's 3rd and 4th places. And there's confirmation of Matusevich's 7-5, 6-1 win against Henry Patten. And of course, the points are totted up week after week as we head towards the grand finale in early December. As far as the women are concerned, well, Appleton stood out in front with 51 points ahead of Elise Maloney, with Freya Christie in 3rd place, and Beth Gray, who's played some fantastic matches earlier in the competition, 4th at the moment. And a little look at the men's lineup will confirm that Anton Matusevich has built up a hefty lead with 48 points, a 19-2 win-loss record ahead of Billy Harris, Josh Paris, and then George Houghton. So, in terms of highlights today, it's hard to look past Anton Matusevich, but what else are you going to be thinking about as you wend your merry way home tonight, Gigi?
Anton Matusevich has been a highlight reel, not just for today, but for this week. So, of course, my mask staying on would be a second thing. But I think for me, it's Elise Maloney, to see how well she has come through from week 1, how she turned around the disappointment from losing the final of week 2, beat Emily Appleton in the group stage, and then backed it up in the final today. I think that, for me, if I have to put one above the rest, that would be the standouts.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic rivalry that's developing. They're playing each other so much at the moment. And looking back, you mentioned earlier some of the other new names that came through, some big names as well, adding further layers to the content of the UK Pro League.
That's the wonderful thing about the UK Pro League, that we get new blood in all the time. They're competing with each other. I think Jack Draper being here was really big, and it was really important and great to see him here off the back of playing on the ATP Tour in Miami. Hopefully he'll be back again. The likes of Sonny Cartel, she's just 19 years of age, 5 wins from 5, and then sadly an injury curtailed her run in the semi-finals against Emily Appleton. So I think for me it's seeing the new players coming in, how that mixes things up, how it keeps everyone on their toes, remembering it's all about heading towards finals week and the start of December.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to before then. But Gigi, as always, thank you for your company and your humour. I still want that mask to go again, but she's learned, unfortunately. She's that sort of lady. Week 4 gets underway on April the 26th. We'll be back for that. As far as week 3 is concerned, well, there is a new women's winner, but Anton still has his hands on the men's main prize. From us both for now, it's goodbye. And welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre at Loughborough University, where just a few moments ago Anton Matusevich did it again. He's the week 3 winner, just as he was the week 2 winner. Henry Patten did everything he could in a very tight first set, but Anton was relentless. An extraordinary run here, 15 successive wins. He's dropped only 1 set. The good news for the rest of the field is that he won't be here for week 4, because he's got to go off now and do those horrendous exams. And I think he's rather looking forward to those as well. Here's confirmation of today's results. Alas, there was no women's third place playoff because of the injury yesterday to Sonny Cartel, so Freya Christie was awarded the victory. Emily Appleton had won week 1 and week 2, but she's had to settle for second best in week 3. Elise Maloney, who was runner-up in week 2, beat her during the week and beat her again today. It was tense towards the end. Maloney eventually won on her 7th match point. Julian Cash then came through by 10 points to 4 in a third set tiebreak against his very close friend George Houghton in the battle for the men's 3rd and 4th places. And there's confirmation of Matusevich's 7-5, 6-1 win against Henry Patten. And of course, the points are totted up week after week as we head towards the grand finale in early December. As far as the women are concerned, well, Appleton stood out in front with 51 points ahead of Elise Maloney, with Freya Christie in 3rd place and Beth Gray, who's played some fantastic matches earlier in the competition, 4th at the moment. And a little look at the men's lineup will confirm that Anton Matusevich has built up a hefty lead with 48 points, a 19-2 win-loss record ahead of Billy Harris, Josh Paris, and then George Houghton. So, in terms of highlights today, it's hard to look past Anton Matusevich, but what else are you going to be thinking about as you wend your merry way home tonight, Gigi?
Anton Matusevich has been a highlight reel, not just for today, but for this week. So, of course, my mask staying on would be a second thing. But I think for me, it's Elise Maloney, to see how well she has come through from week 1, how she turned around the disappointment from losing the final of week 2, beat Emily Appleton in the group stage, and then backed it up in the final today. I think that, for me, if I have to put one above the rest, that would be the standout.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic rivalry that's developing. They're playing each other so much at the moment. And looking back, you mentioned earlier some of the other new names that came through, some big names as well, adding further layers to the content of the UK Pro League.
That's the wonderful thing about the UK Pro League, that we get new blood in all the time. They're competing with each other. I think Jack Draper being here was really big, and it was really important and great to see him here off the back of playing on the ATP Tour in Miami. Hopefully he'll be back again. The likes of Sonny Cartel, she's just 19 years of age, 5 wins from 5, and then sadly an injury curtailed her run in the semi-finals against Emily Appleton. So I think for me it's seeing the new players coming in, how that mixes things up, how it keeps everyone on their toes, remembering it's all about heading towards finals week and the start of December.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to before then. But Gigi, as always, thank you for your company and your humour. I still want that mask to go again, but she's learned, unfortunately. She's that sort of lady. Week 4 gets underway on April the 26th. We'll be back for that. As far as week 3 is concerned, well, there is a new women's winner, but Anton still has his hands on the men's main prize. From us both for now, it's goodbye.